We've all seen people calling out anime fathers who are trash. I'm not trying to give any hot takes here, but they're not nearly as bad as people would make them out to be. Personally, for me, I'm tired of seeing the deadbeat allegations. I kinda want to get a bit of a deeper look at some of these fathers, and it's really to see where the father might have gone wrong. But I'ma tell y'all right now, I think that the kids play a role into this perception. Because I think these kids are part of the problem. Yeah, you heard that right. I'm victim blaming minors this video. Nah, that actually sounds kinda crazy. I'm not gonna do that. But seriously, I'm gonna go through some key moments of these fathers' children and see just how much blame I could give these fathers. So I'm gonna start off with the one and only Goku, the big grandpapa triple OG of this anime shit. We've all heard the disparaging remarks people online have made about him. They say he's an idiot, he's willing to risk the fate of the planet to enjoy a good fight, and how much of a bad father he is. Aside from him being pretty moronic and super, and him risking Earth because he constantly has a fight boner, this bad father title people have been trying to throw on his jacket is ridiculous. For starters, his son remembers what he looks like. Now, that's not a shot at Big Toji, but Goku was present in his child's life. Male Saiyans are a lot of things. Oppressors, conquerors, monkeys, but absent fathers is not one of those things. King Vegeta was gassing up his son. Bardock, sent Goku to safety and probably would have done the same for Raditz. Paragus went after Broly after King Vegeta shipped his ass off planet. Vegeta is a family man, as is Goku. Saiyan fathers are there for their kids, so stop it. Some of y'all acting like Goku was out there in them streets while Chi-Chi was back at home looking like a complete fool. Now here goes some of y'all. Bro, what are you talking about? Goku wasn't around for long periods of time. And you know what? I partially blame Gohan for that, but I'll get into that in a bit. Some people really are acting like Goku said he was gonna go out to an all-you-can-eat buffet and just never came back. This man selflessly died twice and came back both times. That's dedication. Which one of y'all fathers would die and come back to still be a part of the family? I'll wait. I'm fine when people call Goku reckless for his decision making, like giving Cell a senzu bean or attaching the 4-star Dragon Ball on Gohan's hat, which is kinda like taking the leprechaun's gold and expecting no one dangerous to come looking for it. But I digress. All this man Goku did was train, be there for his family, and help train his own son. Listen, I'ma be hooping with my hypothetical son from a young age, until he tells me he isn't really feeling it. But unless that happens, that's gonna be our good father-son time. And that's all training was between Goku and Gohan. But to still see people talk Goku for not being present, like really, is that what we're really gonna do? The man can't help himself if he died and had to be away from his family because he got packed up by a special beam cannon to the chest and getting blown up by Cell. It's not like he said, this living shit is kinda ass. Let me head over to the other world and have some real fun. Goku is always gonna bring his ass back home as long as he's alive. Even in Super when he's away training with Whis, he's gonna come right back home. He's loyal, he ain't got nowhere else to be. But speaking of Cell, Goku dying was all Gohan's fault. The little shit was feeling himself and was playing around too damn much. His Vegeta was showing. Anytime Gohan gets into his confident bag, he gets punished for it. He pushed his father to sacrifice himself, and later on he had Super Buu absorb him. When Gohan begins to feel himself a little bit too much, he's nearly as bad as Vegeta, but y'all don't want to have a conversation about that. And before someone says it's in their Saiyan DNA to be like that, nah big dog. Goku was even telling Gohan to finish Cell off, and Trunks is never on that type of timing. Yeah, the plot's gonna plot, but Gohan caused Goku to die right there. So yeah, part of the reason why Goku wasn't around as much was because he was too busy being a good father, even if that meant dying. Now, Ging is the quintessential example people normally use when they talk about trash fathers, and again, I'm not gonna let that title fly with my guy. Also, not to be one of those, well actually in the manga ass people, but it was touched on how Mito won custody of Gon over Ging. It's not like Ging showed up one day with Gon and just dropped off the little fucker like a Uber Eats delivery. While I can't tell you Jing's thought process, I assume he probably was just gonna keep traveling and doing top tier hunter shit with Gon and have his family watch over him in the meantime while he got busy doing big hunter shit. And yes, I realize I'm shooting the man a lot of bail right here, but this man literally made Greed Island for his son to see when he got older. That's some thoughtful shit, like a parent making a mini fun park in their backyard for their child to enjoy. That's wholesome. A deadbeat dad wouldn't leave a message and clues for their child and tell them to find them. If we're being real here, Ging is just playing a big ass game of hide and seek with his son. That being said, Ging, like a fair share of other parents in anime, is a bit reckless. To put this into perspective, Gon went on to get his hunter license where he honestly could have died. He ended up meeting and going on Hisoka's radar, which is something you don't want to have happen to you in your mortal walk of life. Gon had to find his way into Greed Island, which led him to come face to face with the Phantom Trope, some of the most dangerous criminals in the world of Hunter x Hunter. Gon ended up surviving encounters with them, got into Greed Island, and had to survive another powerful person in Razor, who could have easily sent him to the Shadow Realm. And if it wasn't enough for Gon in Greed Island, there was the bomber who blew off his arm. I ain't gonna lie, this is where Ging kinda loses me, because Gon would have went straight to him if he went solo, but because he was with Killua, the accompany card ended up sending Gon and Killua to Kite instead. Yeah, you lost me there, Ging. I can't defend that bullshit. From there, Gon willingly helped Kite with the whole Chimera Ant fiasco. And if you know, you know. That shit in itself was extremely dangerous. Gon nearly died from the trip that his own father sent him on. You wanna know the real funny part about Ging being a horrible father? And it has nothing to do with him. It's when this conversation gets brought up, Silva is never in the conversation. Killua's father is right there, but no one wants to say shit about him because he made a little cute blood oath and told his son that he was free to leave. Listen here, man. My boy Killua was poisoned, electrocuted, forced to be an assassin at such a young age, and all while Silva was the head of the Zoldyck family. Let's say that I agree that Ging was willfully a deadbeat father to Gon. I'd rather have him as my father than Silva. I'm taking the lesser of two evils right here, man. I'd rather be abandoned than be tortured. But really, when Gon eventually got to see his father and they got to have their father-son one-on-one, Ging hit Gon with a pretty good gem. That being, you should enjoy the little detours to the fullest, because that's where you'll find the things more important than what you want. That's a bar. Too often we're more concerned with the end product or finish line, when it's the path getting there that's important. The roads that we wouldn't have expected to be there hold great value and experience to grow from. F all of that. Gon could have died trying to learn that gem. Ging might not be a full-on deadbeat, but he easily could have sent his son to the pearly gates. And that's why my guy is more reckless than a deadbeat. Alright, now I've talked about this man in a previous video, but that was my second video on YouTube that I've ever made, and it's pretty ass. Not to say that any of my more recent videos are significantly better, I mean they're serviceable at most, but f all of that right now. This man right here is underrated. Put the clean design to the side, put the cold monikers to the side, the novel, the Lord of Dawn, the Sovereign of Dawn, put all of that to the side. This man Bondrewd is the best father in all of anime and manga. He's too dope of a character, man. Too dope. Real quick, excluding the sus that's mainly in the manga, Made in Abyss is a wicked ass anime, and I mean that in the best way possible. The world of the Abyss is both beautiful and terrifying, and no one else in the series symbolizes this more than Bondrewd himself, with his twisted way of thinking. But let me start off by addressing the big ass elephant in the room. That man Bondrewd will remove a child's organs and stuff them into briefcases like pouches of fruit punch, so how can I possibly claim that that man is the best father in anime and manga? How could I possibly defend someone who treats children like that? Well, for starters, this is fiction. That part right there is key, alright? Don't ever forget that part. This is fiction. Don't take me too seriously. But yeah, Bondrewd truly cares for all of those kids. Each one that became test subjects for him in his experiments, especially when he turned them into cartridges to be used up and die, but ultimately became one with the Abyss, is all done for the progression of science. As I've stated before, the Abyss can be a terrifying place. The curse of the Abyss prevents people from going upwards. Depending on the layer that you're in, going upwards can cause something as minuscule as dizziness and nausea, to having blood pour out of all of your orifices, to morphing your body beyond recognition, and death. Yeah, it's no joke. Bondrewd's method might be unethical, but they aren't done out of the enjoyment or sick curiosity like the typical mad scientist who's into stitching creations together. Bondrewd turning children into fruit punch cartridges to ward off the curse of the Abyss as he ascends and receives the blessing of the Abyss, which is only possible through the love that the children have for him, is proof that he isn't an evil monster. He did care for all the children that he used in his experiments. He remembers their name and their aspirations. They weren't just a means to an end or just nameless test subjects. Yeah, man. Made in Abyss is pretty twisted. You get cursed, the creatures can be nightmare fuel, you risk losing your humanity. Shit is not for the weak. But our good boy Bondrewd is trying to improve divers' lives when they challenge the Abyss, so that people could probably explore more and find something that could be a bigger help to humanity. Don't let the inhumane treatment of children cloud the bigger picture when it comes to Bondrewd. The life of a few over the lives of many. And all for scientific advancement, because we all know there's nothing evil in scientific advancement. And that right there is why Bondrewd isn't evil, nor as bad as anyone would have you believe. Hopefully that sounded believable, because all jokes aside, Bondrewd is truly an intriguing ass character. And even more when you consider that he's a father. But yeah, enough shit on these wonderful ass parents.
Fuck them kids.